All right, today we are talking about the Anton bed. This bed comes completely flat packed. So first thing you're going to want to do is go through your box, find your hardware packet, start laying out your parts. It kind of comes in a few different sections. There's the base section, which consists of two large front to back beams and then two smaller support beams that go across to hold it all together. Your headboard is already built. Everything else needs to be assembled by you. So we're going to kind of go through the steps of just getting this frame built, and then our last step will be to attach the headboard. These cross members are attached by a bunch of Allen bolts, which is pretty much what the whole bed consists of, besides threading a couple bolts with nuts and washers. So once you get your frame set up, these are easy, just drive them straight in. Everything lines up perfectly, you're done. So once your bed frame is built, your next step is going to be to lay out all the pieces of your bed rail box, which is going to sit right on top of this. That's what your slats are going to go across. The way that we have it set up here is pretty much how you'd be in a room. So it kind of shows that even if you're in a tight space, this bed is still pretty easy to build. What you want to do is once you set up your pieces around this box, you want to make sure that you put all your hardware in. So for each headboard and footboard pieces, they have the bolt, which you have to thread in that, and the dowels. You want to make sure that the one that your headboard attaches to has these inserts in them for bolting the hardware of the headboard onto. Your footboard is going to be blank, obviously. So just make sure that this is footboard and headboard. So your next step, once you've put your bolts and your dowels in, is to set your headboard piece up here. We're going to work our way toward the back of the bed. So a bunch of these Allen bolts, you're going to just finger tighten them in for now, because you're going to want to be able to shift the bed a little bit as you kind of put this together. So I'm only going to just put it in little ways, both sides. There's pre-drilled holes in this support frame, so it's very easy just to drop them in and tighten them a little bit. All right, so our next step is to do both of our side rails. We're going to start with this one here. Real easy to lift up. You can actually prop it up on this frame. Really easy just to line this bolt up and slide it in. You want to just lock your dowels in tight. Okay, so now we're on to our second rail. We're just simply lifting this one on the frame again. I'm going to slide our bolt in. One thing we noticed was that if you only go in a little bit, it's a lot easier to thread this nut on. If you were to get in this far, almost impossible to get your fingers in to twist that. So what we want to do is keep this back just a little bit. You can start threading your nut on it, easier to get your fingers in. Once you have your nut on, then slide this tight, and you can slide your washer in right on the side, and then you'll be able to tighten it down with your wrench once you're ready. We're also going to, both sides, have another hole here and another hole here where you're going to screw in an Allen bolt. Just finger tight again until the rest of it's done. So this is the last step of building our bed frame. We're going to put the footboard on. This attaches the exact same way that you did the rails to the front part of the bed. Once you get this put in, what you're going to want to do is walk around the bed, tighten all your Allen wrenches and secure everything tight. You're going to want to tighten up the nuts that you threaded on with your fingers. You're going to have two more Allen bolts on this one. Make sure everything's secure, and then our last step is to attach the headboard and drop the slats in, and then you're done. Okay, so we're on the last step of our bed, and this is attaching the headboard. One thing we noticed too is what you're going to want to do is make sure that you use the dark screws for this headboard piece. All the rest of them and the rest of the bed that isn't seen are silver. So dark ones. What you also want to do is you're going to have to lift up a little bit with your arm to get these to attach, because the headboard actually does not sit on the ground down in the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is lift up with my left arm a little bit, thread this in with my finger, enough to get it started. Second one. Then I can work to the other side and do the exact same thing. Tighten them down with your drill, you're done.